Hello everyone, my name is Chris and welcome back to another game review. Today I'm gonna be reviewing Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection, and as usual I'm quickly gonna go through the story of this game to tell in short what this game is all about. Then I'm gonna share my own opinions and thoughts about this game, so in case you didn't play it, one big spoiler alert across the screen. And yeah guys, just click away from this video and come back after you play a game. If you want to, if you don't want to, you don't have to, it's totally fine. But if you really are interested in my opinions and thoughts about this game right now, then stay with me till the end of this video and let's get started. Alright guys, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection is a single player only, linear, third person, action adventure game that was developed by Naughty Dog and Iron Galaxy. The game was developed in Naughty Dog's engine and it was released in 2022 on PC. So once again, this is yet another PS exclusive that was brought from PS to PC. And the best part about it is that it comes in remastered versions of both Uncharted 4 Thieves End and its standalone expansion, The Lost Legacy. I played both games and they're definitely both a masterpiece, and I can't describe with my words how much I appreciate that they brought this to PC. And I honestly wish I could play all Uncharted games on PC, but yeah, for now I can only play these two unfortunately. But who knows, maybe one day they bring all Uncharted games to PC, which would be really great. Anyway, story of Uncharted 4 Thieves End once again starts off with showing the life of our main hero that we follow through the entire franchise, Nathan Drake. And you know, he's living now a normal life. He got married. He married Elena, which is one of the adventures that shows in previous Uncharted games. And you know, they're living normal life and having normal jobs. Nathan is a diver that digs out the shipwrecks and crash containers, and you know, they take the loot from that and make living out of it. And that's all until he meets his dead brother that's been dead for past 15 years, at least that's what he thinks, until one night he knocks on his door and, you know, pays him a visit, and Nathan is all shocked and can't believe that his brother is actually alive. He thought that he died in the prison they were trapped in, which also plays out in one part of the game. Everything is very well explained. Anyway, his brother tells him that he got out of that prison with the help of a drug lord called Alcazar, and now Alcazar wants you know, him to pay for that with the treasure of Avery. And Avery is Henry Avery was a legendary pirate who lived in pirate utopia called Libertalia. And you know, there is entire mythology and legend about all that. And now Nathan has to make a choice. Will he help his brother, who is being hunted by the drug lord who wants half of the treasure once they find it, or will he just abandon his brother, you know, leave that all aside and go and live his normal life with his wife and all that? And of course, Nathan, being Nathan, couldn't abandon his brother because it's his brother and, you know, he's a big adventurer. So they decide to roll out for one final adventure, and they start to look for Henry Avery's treasure. But of course, other characters show up as well, like Victor Sullivan, that is on their side. And then we got some enemies like Nadine and Rafe. They were on the opposite team. Actually, they tried to stop Nathan and Sam and Sullivan and, you know, our guys and heroes through the entire game because they want to get to the treasure before them, obviously. So they just race basically through the entire game who's gonna get the treasure first. It's classic good guys versus bad guys plot. You know, they all want the piece of cake for them, and through the entire game they're just looking for that treasure. And then some plots unveil later, which turns out that actually Sam was lying to Nathan because Alcazar doesn't even exist, you know, and like that story is made up by him. Actually, the Wraith is the one who got him out of the prison and wanted gold, actually the treasure in return, and that's where Nathan gets disappointed in his brother. And you know, later they again team up and eventually they find the treasure, and once they do, you know, they realize it's not worthy And just the game basically ends with a really good message. It just shows how greed destroys men, because they find all these pirates dead because they killed each other over all this treasure and gold. And it just really shows the message about greed and how greed leads to death and suffering. And it's a really bad thing. It turns friends into enemies, and that's what I kind of learned from this game the most. And I really loved how they portrayed that through the story. Like, story writing in this game is absolutely phenomenal. Voice acting, music, characters, everything is literally like watching a movie. The entire game and cutscene are so cinematic. It is just pure 10 out of 10 masterpiece. There is not a single thing I disliked about this game's story. You get to even see Nathan and Sam's story when they were kids, and things they went through, how they were raised up, why they decided to do what they do. They really went with not only the story about the goal and treasure hunting, but they actually invested more like emotions and in backstory of the characters to explain to us players what really happened about them, their lives, and all that. There is really a lot of story writing behind the characters, behind the story itself, the game, the everything. It is so very well written, and whoever wrote the story for this game did a really good job. And if you are into adventure type of movies, the third-person shooters, all that kind of stuff, treasure hunting, definitely check Uncharted out. It's definitely one of the best games with that kind of story. You're not gonna regret it. This is just absolutely masterpiece, absolute beautiful. I also love the Lost Legacy story. Not gonna go through it too much because that's a standalone expansion for the game. But over there you play as other character. You play as female character Chloe. She's also a treasure hunter. They are hunting for some other treasure located in India, and that's actually going on after a Thieves End, and the story of Thieves End. And she teams up with the bad guys from the first game, actually with Nadine. She turns out a good girl in this expansion, so that's also a nice plot, seeing the enemy from the first game turning into an ally in the expansion. It was really fun, and I definitely enjoyed the expansion as well. There is also a lot of good story and story writing, again, voice acting, characters, animations. A lot of hard work went into all that, and it's definitely noticeable, and it's definitely worth checking out. So both Uncharted 4: A Thief's End and its standalone expansion, The Lost Legacy, that is, by the way, much shorter than the first game, are both really great games, and I absolutely enjoyed them. Alright guys, let's talk about gameplay of this game, which is just as great as story of this game is. I mean, all I'm gonna say is that this game was made by the same people who made The Last of Us, so you can kinda imagine how gameplay plays out in this game. From the moment you boot this game up, everything feels like you are controlling a movie. Like, gameplay looks so freaking good, so freaking cinematic. What I really appreciate is that, just like in The Last of Us, HUD is literally minimal. Only important things are highlighted on the screen, and they're very well organized. They're never annoying you. There is no boring tips popping out constantly, or unnecessary health bars or whatever. Everything is just so freaking cinematic in this game, so that you can see every single detail that is going on the screen as you play through this game. And that is something that I constantly appreciated about Uncharted 4. So it's really beautiful freaking game. I mean, come on, man, this really is something you don't witness often in video games. Those type of video games are rare, and that's why people appreciate this game so much. I mean, just take a look at this moment, for example. This is like, I call it cinematic gameplay moment. Everything you're seeing on the screen right now is actually being controlled by me. Everything looks so cinematic. The entire scene is like a freaking movie. You got guys charging you in the vehicles, you know, shooting at you. You're jumping from the vehicles to vehicles, taking them from the bad guys, shooting them, you know, and you're trying to get closer to the brother. And you know, there is nothing highlighted on the screen where you need to go, what you have to do. Everything is kind of logical. So the world design is so very well done that you like don't need to think too much. You just look around the environment and listen to what characters talk to each other and what they are saying, and by that you realize what you need to do in this game and where you need to go. The entire game is linear. It's not an open world game or whatever, even though the Lost Legacy is kind of mini open world. You have this big map where you go around and figure things out. It's something similar to a Metro Exodus, which is something I was really surprised by, honestly. It was really well done. But yeah, these cinematic moments that you play, that you actually control in the game, are freaking amazing. Like, there is a lot of things going on the screen, you know, things falling down, big explosions. Everything is very well organized on the screen, and the best part is, you know, you get to see everything that's going on. There's like no shaky camera angles. There is no problems with camera rotations in third person. You can always control your character flawlessly. Controls respond beautifully. My man, it's just truly a thing of a beauty. There is not a single RPG element. Few shots kill the enemy, so the game is kind of realistic as well. But you know, from the other side, like, you're gonna see Nathan very often falling off buildings, you know, jumping off the trucks, explosions around him, getting hit, and you know, he's not hurt or anything. I mean, the game is extremely unrealistic from that side, but come on, it's so stupid to think about this game that way. This is adventure game with, you know, puzzles and treasure hunting, and it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be realistic or whatever from that side. So you have to approach it from that side and think about it like that, and I guarantee you, you're gonna have a lot of fun in this game. So most of the gameplay is focused on, you know, getting through the levels that are like all connected through the story in a linear way, like I said. And there is a lot of exploring, you know. There are moments where you go through the level, and those levels are really big, and they allow you to for example, when you are on the Madagascar, going towards this volcano where they think the next clue for the treasure is, on the way to that volcano there is a bunch of locations you can stop by, and you can collect these little like treasures that do nothing. Basically, you just collect them, and you know, you can see them later in your game stats. It's just a fun little thing to do, you know. You can collect these notes. You can read about these old abandoned ruins, places, you know, what happened to these people who are now skeletons, to these pirates. You know, there is always this little interesting story to read from these letters. And what I also, again, really appreciated about Uncharted, just like I appreciated in The Last of Us, is like how physically it is when you pick up these letters. You can literally rotate them in your hand with your mouse, and you know, physics of the paper are so freaking detailed, just like everything else in this game. Like when your character gets wet, you can see like water dripping from him. If you get your feet only in the water, only your feet are gonna be wet. You know, you can see like footprints in the snow, in the sand, you know. All these extremely very well done gameplay details are just very fascinating to me, and it's something that kept me in the chair for hours. There's so many great things about this game. Like combat is also very well done. Enemy AI is actually pretty intelligent. They know how to take cover. They know how to throw frags at you. If you get closer to them, they will switch to melee combat. They will grab you. They'll try to choke you out. They can also grab your AI. Your AI teammates are also useful. They can kill enemies. They can't die, which is, maybe kind of stupid. They should maybe add like they could be downed or something, so you get them up like this. They feel immortal, but most of the killing is gonna be done by you. But what I really appreciate about the friendly AI is like when you get into the melee combat, when you start beating these bad guys up close, they will literally come to you, your friendly AI, and they will help you beat these guys up. There is so many cool different animations, like takedown animations. When you beat these guys up, there are even double takedowns that you can perform with your friendly AI. Everything, I feel like I seen different animation every time I beated a character up. Every time I was climbing in the game. Climbing is also a big part of this game. There is going to be a lot of climbing and scaling giant churches, rocks, or whatever, to get to these places where you need to be. uh, so climbing is definitely a lot of fun. There is also a rope that you can throw, and like a hook that you can swing on and climb on, and just slide down, pull things. There is also a car winch, so sometimes you'll be using a car winch to break down the bridges that you can then use to climb up with a car. There are tiny puzzles like in the nature that you need to solve. You have to think about how you're gonna get through things. Nothing is really pointed out or highlighted. But what I really also appreciate is, like, if you're stuck on something for a very long time, game will give you a hint. And if you're stuck, for example, on some puzzles, the game will also offer you to skip the puzzle. I never did that. I figured the puzzles out myself because, what's the fun if you skip it? But yeah, there are some really hard puzzles actually in this game. Not a lot of them. I especially had one puzzle that I've really struggled with. It was in the Lost Legacy expansion. There was a puzzle with some shadows, and oh man, I was stuck for over an hour on that thing. But it's a lot of fun. There is also a journal that you can look into anytime you want to. The journal is also physical. You don't open the journal like it opens on my menu screen or something. No, the Nathan actually pulls it out of the pocket, and he literally scrolls through the journal physically, and through his notes, and you can take these notes in the hand again, physically inspect them. You can rotate the item. Holy shit, like the level of details in this game, like item inspecting and stuff like that, is so detailed, is so great. Melee combat is once again thing of a beauty. There is few buttons. It's very simple how melee combat works. There is like dodging, punching, and breaking, like a parry, and then punching the enemy. But what's interesting is that you have to watch out for characters animation and figure out what button you need to press. The game's not really gonna point you out that much what button you need to press. You have to figure it out yourself, especially during these like combat cinematic moments. Like, you have to figure out which button you need to press to do something. And oh boy, I forgot to mention that this game also has stealth elements, which means you can take your enemies out without firing a single shot. And oh boy, it's a lot of fun. It kind of reminded me of a Splinter Cell for some moments. You can literally shoot from the ledges. You can grab on the ledge, aim with your gun, shoot the enemies. In the Lost Legacy, they even implemented some suppressed guns, so you can shoot your enemies with silenced weapons. They also have these golden weapons that are insta-kill. Some weapons are stronger, some are not. These golden weapons, when you collect them, they're not actually physically golden. They're golden on like a HUD, because the weapon is rare and it's better, so it's harder to find ammo for it. But definitely there is a lot of different variety of weapons in the game, which is again something that I really appreciated. Also, there are interactive moments, like in the environment moments. There is a lot of interacting with the environment when you're like walking through some levels. There are things you can interact with, and everything is so very well again animated. It feels constantly like playing a movie, like controlling real actors. And since they ported the game to PC, just like in The Last of Us, they implemented skins. There is a bunch of different skins you can pick from on the characters, so you can also do some render modes in the game. You can enable these if you ever want to, to make the black and white screen or pixelated screen, or whatever. I don't know whoever would ever do this, but there is also that thing you can play around with if you ever wish to. There are gameplay modes where you can enable slow motion and like mirror effect. Every time you die, the world mirrors or something like that. So something that I would personally never use, but if you ever feel bored and replaying this game, maybe hardening things up, you can use that. There is also a nice little model gallery that you can review the statues of your characters that you collected through the game. It's fun. It's just a lot of fun, and I recognized a lot of things from The Last of Us remake. They implemented the same things in Uncharted, so those are literally some things copied from The Last of Us and Uncharted, or they just copied things from each other and implemented them into both games when they were porting them to PC, which is really great. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say about the gameplay of this game. You just really have to try it out yourself. It is such a masterpiece, man. I absolutely loved it. Like, the stealth is very fluid. If you know where the enemies are, like, you can mark the enemies. You can't see them through the wall or anything, but you can see the arrow through the wall above their head. So that's also a thing that I like. Like, HUD is minimized. You got only that arrow. Okay, so you can see the enemies there, but you don't know which way is he looking until you peek over the wall and actually see him in third person. And then you can walk up to these guys and just take them down. You can't drag the bodies or anything. AI will react to bodies. So that kind of makes stealth a little bit challenging. You can't really kill the enemies wherever you want. You have to kind of choose timing and spot where to take them out. You can pull them off the ledges. You can pull them in in high grass and just choke them out. You can pull them in water and choke them out. There is a bunch of different animations and ways to stealthily take down the enemies. So stealthing in this game was something that I really appreciated. It was very well done. It was fluid, it was fast, it doesn't take forever to take down the enemy stealthily. So yeah, it's just pure masterpiece. The gameplay was, oh my god, the gun sounds, the animations, physics of like car driving, vehicle driving, moving, everything just feels very fluid and very well done. So combat and entire gameplay of Uncharted 4 is awesome. It's just purely a masterpiece. I totally recommend it to check it out. It's just pure pumped action combined with a lot of great exploration, story writing. Everything is just, it's amazing. I absolutely loved it. Alright, for the end, let's talk about graphics and optimization of this game. So, in my opinion, so far, this is the best port from PS to PC. Horizon Zero Dawn and The Last of Us had some issues when they were ported to PC. They had some glitches, bugs, frame drops. The game would take forever to render shaders and stuff like that, but not Uncharted. Uncharted had a great start and it remained that way. I did not experience almost a single bug. I maybe experienced some tiny visual bugs that would appear during the cinematics. The character would kind of frickle and glitch for split second and go to normal almost unnoticeably, but you still see it through the gameplay sometimes. It also didn't happen very often. The game worked constantly in a beautiful 60 plus FPS all the time on 1080p resolution, all ultra maxed out settings, and my PC specs are next. My GPU is RX 6700 XT, 8GB GDDR6. My CPU is a Ryzen 7 3700X, 3.50 gigahertz, and my RAM memory is 2 slots by 8, which means 16 gigabytes of RAM, Kingston Fury DDR4. And yeah, I had absolutely no problems running this game at a constant 60 plus FPS and all ultra maxed out settings on 1080p resolution. Now, some people might say, oh, it's 1080p, you should maybe go to 144 or 4K. I don't care. I love 1080p. I think it's more than enough for gaming today, especially in single player games. It just absolutely works beautiful. I love my 1080p monitor. The colors and everything on it are just absolutely beautiful, and it definitely can be seen in this game. This entire game, just holy moly, look at it. It looks beautiful. Every single detail in this game is so well made. You can literally, like, when you zoom your character in, like, there is a photo mode you can enable. And when you enable photo mode and really inspect the details up close, it's like somebody took like those expensive cameras and took a photo, man, and just made the game like that entire way. It is so freaking good. The game looks so beautiful. The colors, the cinematics, the character animations, the lightning, oh my god, it is so good. This game is definitely one of the most beautiful games that I ever played in my entire life. I mean, just look at it. There is not a single ugly thing about it. Everything looks so beautiful. The environment is so very well made. I really like it, especially when it comes to stealthing in combat. The environment design is so very well done. Oh my god, man, just a lot of great details through the game. I don't know, just truly a masterpiece, and whoever says that this game deserves the rating it has, it definitely does. It has 9 out of 10. I would give it 10 out of 10. I don't know what made him give it 9 out of 10. In my opinion, this is 10 out of 10 game. It's just absolutely beautiful. And if you are a fan of, like I said, adventure, action, third-person shooters, this is a must play. A must play. This is top notch of these type of games, definitely. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, then go ahead and leave a like, share, comment, or subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It is totally fine. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Links are down below in the description. Again, if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's totally fine. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate all your support and everything you've done for me and my channel so far. You guys are amazing. I love you, and I'll definitely see you in the next videos. Chris out.